In my hand, I have a 229-pound driver that can do this. I wasn't expecting it to do that well. In my other hand, I have an extremely out-of-date, virtually prehistoric driver from TaylorMade. But for virtually the same amount of money, which one should you be choosing? Well, I can definitely say the thing's forgiving at £229. You're probably thinking at this point, is the BenRoss definitely better then? This isn't where the money's going. I mean, look at the efficiency. I'm gonna cheat on this last shot and show you guys how I end up gaining 40 yards between drivers. Have you ever wondered where all the money is going when it comes to, well, brand new drivers? Because at first glance, it certainly isn't ball speed. However, I have always said making an affordable iron is somewhat easy because, let's be honest, it's a block of metal on the end of a stick. But making an affordable driver, on the other hand, thin, lightweight, carbon, no carbon, weighting, adjustability, etc. is definitely more of a challenge until maybe now. And that's exactly what I want to answer today because yes, I love affordable equipment, but second-hand equipment can be affordable, especially when it's from the bigger brands that we know as well, tried and tested. And I haven't picked the Stealth 2 from TaylorMade for any particular reason. I mean, I could have probably tried the Ping or even the Paradigm. But this driver here is quintessential in technological advancement, pushing the boundaries, carbon everywhere, and that's had its limits too. But simply put, I want to show the advantages and disadvantages of both choices. What are you getting from one versus the other, when essentially you're getting the same price tag? At this point, I want to show proof that these Stealth 2s do go for around £229. Obviously, professional sellers are going to sell them around £270, £280. But when we get into the numbers, hopefully it proves a couple of my points. So advantage one to the Delta, you can get custom fitted for this. This is exclusive to American Golf. That is something that's a definite advantage to a beginner golfer. I'm a bloke on the internet, and if you've just started this game, it's all well and good me at the end going, buy this or buy this. But I haven't seen your swing and loft, shaft, head type, weighting, you name it, can make a difference. Now, before we get into the distance numbers, these are both set at 10.5. And one of the other reasons I chose the Stealth is because the shafts are pretty similar, but not exact. And I'll talk about how important that can be for certain golfers and others as we go through this video. But one thing that definitely lets down, let's say, affordable drivers to certain golfers, I would say, out there, probably myself included, is that carbon is expensive and my ear is still somewhat ringing after that shot. And you've guessed it, this is the sound test. How different do they sound? Quite different. Carbon, duller sound. Ping, notoriously louder. No carbon. And now one of the big features the Delta XT talked about was aerodynamics, and versus a carbon head with carbon everywhere, weight shifting, all that kind of stuff. Can I swing either of these faster than each other if I couldn't care less where the ball's actually going to go? I'm going to do 3 shots each, alternating between both drivers to make it somewhat fair. Forgot to change the color dot for the BenRoss. I'll change it this time. You're probably thinking at this point, is the BenRoss definitely better then? And I'll explain in a minute why that's not necessarily the case, and also distance isn't always the only option that you need when you're obviously choosing your new driver. But it's at this point I should probably talk about shafts. Now that was actually the BenRoss, obviously forgot to change the color, but around 122, 123 for the Stealth. And of course the BenRoss has the ability to go 124, but then I had a 120, I had a 119, I had a 123. And I have the BenRoss in my hands here. And the only way I can describe it is that I just kind of kept losing the head on the way down. Therefore, subconsciously, I'm trying to find the face, hit the ball forward, all that kind of stuff. If I was to hit this shaft at 7 in the morning off the tee box, I'd probably be able to get on better with it. But it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm warmed up, and maybe 7 in the morning, this shaft would be better for my swing. But today, in this room, with my swing at the moment, this setup, this shaft, this head, for me, it feels more controllable. The point is, this actually kind of goes in the Delta's favour, as you can get club fitted for it. You can try different shafts in the head. But as someone that's tested all shafts, expensive and cheap, there is definitely a placebo effect. And I feel like we spend more time thinking about our shaft rather than, well, our technique. That being said, if your missus out there, definitely get a softer flex. If it's going out there, get a stiffer flex. That's a very rudimental understanding. However, the test was, which one could I swing faster? I did manage to get a mile an hour more out of the Delta, but that's probably because I gave it a tiny bit more due to catching up to the Stealth. But it's numbers time. Let's hit a few, 5 each, alternating, see where we end up in terms of performance. Well, I can definitely say the thing's forgiving at £229. That's got snow on it, ladies and gents. I'm going to cheat on this last shot and show you guys how I end up gaining 40 yards between drivers. And all I've tried to do is put my normal swing on all these drives, and this is when fitting becomes important. I mean, even for someone as inconsistent as myself, if I hit this driver right, it will go just as far as the BenRoss. Let's see if I can do it. Did we do it? That's the question. Yeah, we weren't far off. See if I can do it, but do it straight this time. Some thinking having to go on here. That could be the one. Oh look, I just gained 20 yards with my Stealth. So let's try and find out where the money's going, shall we? Because to be honest, at first glance, it's quite difficult. The BenRoss, arguably, won, and I'll explain how I got that last Stealth to go so much further, as obviously why this one's going further. It's not really technology, but 324 yards versus 310, and that's because of this number right here. There's no question that I can swing the Stealth faster, but I mean, we're still only talking a fraction at 120 miles an hour, so imagine you had a 90 mile an hour swing, how much difference that's going to make versus you trying to hit it harder or trying to hit it softer, steering it, whatsoever. I said I can't ignore that I was able to swing the Stealth faster. This isn't where the money's going. I mean, look at the efficiency. I've got a bog standard face here that you see in most drivers. The carbon face, even on mishits with the BenRoss, still produced great ball speed, to be fair. And when you find out where I was hitting the BenRoss on average, I mean, you've got to say it's a forgiving driver. Every driver this year is about forgiveness, more speed off the toe, more speed off the hill, I mean, that's efficient for a 229-pound driver. And the only reason these are faster is because, well, I swung it faster versus, well, these ones here. However, the BenRoss was hit, well, here the whole time. Due to the transition, the head, the shaft, it just kept bowing downwards like this. And that's no surprise, as I just felt, especially when I picked up this Stealth, that it just felt a bit more rigid, and you've got to put that down to head, where its center of gravity is, the shaft that's in it. Hence why I kept hitting it here, if not somewhat out there. As soon as I said, where's my cheat code, I went to hit it up here, and instantly it dropped the spin, gave me a higher launch, and I gained another 20, 30 yards. However, if you ask me which one I'm taking to the golf course to go and play golf with its current setup, it's going to be the Stealth. I need straight. I hate this duck hook to the left-hand side, and high toe is an absolute disaster for myself. However, if you've been playing the game for a while and you have a rough idea of what shaft works for you, what head type works for you, 230, 240 pounds, and let's be honest, it's going to be worth 200 pounds, 180 pounds in a year, 2 years, potentially 3 years. Well, this not only is slightly more advanced, but obviously a better investment, as you're not going to lose that much money. Versus one of the reasons I always talk about BenRoss in the second-hand market, not many people buy them second-hand. So yes, £229 brand new, but yes, you're probably only going to get £100 back for it once all is said and done. Guys, if you've got any questions on your golf bag or golf game, sasgolfacademy.com, and I'll catch you guys later.